we were over at ERC around a table, or we were with, at Ramona's, wherever we were. And there were maybe 5 of us at most, and we pay you $20 a session. And we did great stuff, and we used paper and pencil, and we weren't on computer, and it worked for me, and I know what you mean. It's like, this is an effort for me to sit here. I get antsy. Yes, there's value, but it's not the same as like, getting a check and handing it to you. I don't know what it is. There's something, it's like, I feel like there's missing links to the personal, or showing up, or getting in the car, or, you got your stuff together. We've lost that intimacy of just being together.
Yeah.
This is okay, but I agree with you. We're all just burned.
Yeah, and that's why I'm thinking moving forward, we're still in COVID. I mean, we're still, I was thrilled that going away to Sutter Creek this week, this last couple days, that county's got their act together. Nevada County doesn't. Nevada County has a bunch of idiots that are gonna hold us all back from getting together again, which really pisses me off.
Yeah.
Sutter County, totally different mindset in Sutter Creek. But I think we are, what I thought a couple of weeks ago when I started feeling this disconnect was, it's got to be a hybrid first, something that's in person and online, because online is here to stay, and in person could not include Sarah, Stephanie,
right.
JR, and
I understand
other people.
I understand.
So that, and I've been in the online world for 12, 15 years. So I know that online does work. Yeah. We're in a weird time now because people are, it's just weird. So we have to figure out, okay, what do we do in this weird time to move forward? I think hybrid is one of the things. I mean, Celia and I have talked a lot about wanting to do the weather system for organizations, corporations, big teams. It works so well. And that I would love to do in person and hybrid, kind of a hybrid with her. She's in France. I mean, she can't be going around to places with me, but she can be online. So, it's again, a lot of planning and figuring it out. And so actually it kind of meshes really well with where we are today for this call, because I think that it's all part of the GACTS of life. This is one of the GACTS of life. I have to figure this out. You guys all have to figure it out. You've got to figure out what you are doing and going, and how you're going to get to wherever you want to go. And so that's why I'm kind of, it's interesting how it turned out that that's what we are going to talk about today. So I'm really glad that everybody's here, and I turned the recording on now. So we will record. So I'm going to do this a little bit differently today than before. And hopefully I can get a lot of it packed into before you have to leave, Sarah, because I know you had to leave the last time. So I'm going to do a little bit of review from last time. But then I'm also, and I would love you guys to pipe up anytime during me talking. Don't wait, if you have something to say it, because I'm going to do this a little bit differently. I'm going to do screen share. So it's not just all of us looking at each other, but before I do screen share, I'm going to say Hello to everybody. I'm glad you're all here. And we do have a new member, Claudia, and I think you may remember her from, she was with us when Dee and Victoria did the presentation. And she joined yesterday, but her dad is ill and in the hospital, so she had to be with him. But I'm really excited that she's joining us as a regular member, and she's an author. So we have so many authors. This is like, wow, which is very cool because that way I can kind of gear some of what I'm saying to authors. Although it's applicable whether you're an author or a coach or a healer or a artist or whatever. So I'm going to do the screen share. And what I did was I actually, let's see, I hope this works the way I hope it does. I put up, yeah, that'll work good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I just thought, okay, I'm just going to build up right onto the website what I want to share with you. And that way, it's there and I can do it again if I need to. And it's also better than looking at me and my stage set that I've been playing with. Okay, so the last time we were talking about the GACTS of life, but I wanted to start today, instead of starting with that, I wanted to start with this that I showed a couple weeks ago. I can't remember if it was 2 weeks ago or longer. What I did, and Sarah, you will probably recognize this, when I was doing a weekly networking event in the Bay Area, I would go every Friday to Successful Thinkers. And Sarah, that's actually where I met Sarah. She was presenting for Successful Thinkers. And
you met me too, right?
Is that where I met you too, Stephanie? Wow, that's
so,
good.
yeah.
Good for Successful Thinkers. Accomplished a lot of good stuff. And I went consistently. I went every single week for 3 years, and maybe it was 4 years, but it was a group that I really valued. And one of the things that they did that I liked was they had the 9 steps to success. And every week somebody in the group would take one of the steps and tell about how that worked in their life. And I really liked that. And so I took those 9 steps to success, I had kept them, and I modified them for us and for Posting with Purpose, because I think it was all very inspiring, but it also kept us as a group on task as sort of, these are our values. This is what we stand for. These are the things that we all mutually agree upon, and sort of like a manifesto. So these are things that I think are important about Posting with Purpose, our group. And this is what we've been doing for the last 12 weeks. It's been 12 weeks that we've been doing this. Yeah, wow. Know your why, your vision, your mission, your who, and articulate your purpose in your message and mantra. So that's what we've been working on a whole lot, like every single week. Each chapter of the playbook has been devoted to those things. Create your own playbook to define and redefine your path. Your path changes all the time. Just like I was talking about earlier, my path is morphing into something a little bit different. But it helps to go through over and over again your why, your vision, your mission, who you're trying to communicate with, and what is your purpose and your message, how are you communicating that? And then your mantra, which is the easy to remember and easy to say piece of your message. Spend a few hours a week on social media and have fun. If it's not fun, I'm not going to do it, period. And I think that that is probably the philosophy for all of you guys too. If it's not fun, you're not going to do it. But social media can be fun, even if it's just like 10 minutes a week, just to get used to it. So just to go onto our Facebook group and poke around there and say something to somebody, or post something on your profile, or create a profile or whatever. And we're going to get much more into that. I know that Dee mentioned the paper and pencil and hands-on. What I am going to be doing, and I'll tell you more about this later, but too much Zoom, I think once a week is way too much for me. You probably don't know the amount of prep it takes me to do this once a week. It's a ton of work. And I'm tired and I don't want to do it. And I think people are also tired of showing up every week. So I'm going to do it a free Boomer Zoomer call twice a month. One of those sessions will be with a guest, and the guest will have something to do with all this stuff that we're all about. And the second session will be hands-on, me showing you how to do stuff online, how to set up your Facebook page profile settings so that you're protected, how to create a group, how to maneuver around, how to make a page, what to put on your page, how to post, how to create a Instagram account, what kinds of things to post on Instagram, how to create a meme, all of this how-to stuff that we haven't really been able to touch on. I did do one recording that is in the library, but I don't think anybody's watched it. So that's the way I'm going to do it. One time a month, that kind of stuff, and the other time a month, a guest. The big thing about having a presence online is you have to engage with people. You have to. Otherwise, there's no reason to do it. It just won't work for you. I can just tell you right now that if you're not social on social media, you might as well not be on it, period, because it's all about being social, and it can be fun to be social. There's a lot of benefits to being social. So we will talk a lot more about engagement and co-creation, how to work with each other. If we have 9 people that are regulars and engaged, we can split into triads, which is a magic number, and we can support each other. And that's the way social media works. We can commit to supporting each other and engaging. And that's when we're going to see some things happen. Listen to and communicate with stories. Those of you who know Dee in particular knows about my other work having to do with story. And I will tell you that story, as it is communicated through the arts, has the most impact on communicating your messages. And story can be, like I said, communicated through any of the arts, including writing. But story is so important. So we're going to be talking more about communicating with story. And I have some great guests that I will be bringing to talk to you about that. I don't need, you don't need to listen to me yakety yak all the time. Be positive and edify. And that is all about embracing your competition. Nobody is your competition. You are all magnificent by yourselves. You don't have competition. And so those that you may think of as your competition, you'll get much further if you embrace what they do and you edify them. That means that you talk only positive, good things about what other people are doing. If there's somebody who's doing something similar to you and you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. Just that's what my mother taught me. If you can't say something nice, Susan, don't say anything at all. And that is a very good lesson and credo to have on social media. You will get so much farther by edifying other people and talking about how great they are, because that will develop your presence as somebody who isn't the kind of person that other people want to be. And that will bring people to you. You will attract that. Build your presence. I mean, that's whatever you're doing. If you've written a book or books and you want them to get out to the world, that is a presence in the world. If you are a coach and you want to help people transform their lives or their health in some way, having a presence in the world so that people know that that's who you are and what you're all about will actually bring you what you want, and that is more people to support what you're doing. Same with artwork. If you have a presence in the world as an artist, you're going to get asked to show your work. You're going to have people wanting to buy your work. It's all about presence. Always show up and walk your talk. So showing up is not just coming to a Boomer Zoomer call, but it's also walking your talk. If you have your values, your why, your vision, and your mission solidified in your brain, that is who you are. It's not just in your brain, it's in your whole being. You will walk your talk and you will be known as that person who is authentic. I mean, that word has been overused like tremendously, but it's actually an authentic word. if you walk your talk, people will know that, and they will be attracted to you, and they will listen to what you are communicating. Connect often and build relationships. I think that's one of the coolest things that's happened in this 12 weeks is, at least for me, I feel closer to all of you than I did before. I also there have been new people that have come into my life because of this, that have moved from contact to connection and on to relationships. And really, in everything in life, I don't care if it's your business, I don't care if it's your personal life or your, nonprofit that you're running or whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. Everything in the world is all about relationships. And that is what we need to remember, because when you form those really great bonds and relationships, they last forever. They don't go away. Invite new Play Shop members. I would love to grow this group, because if we have enough people, we can have our triads. And I would encourage everybody to read, if you haven't already read, Tribal Leadership, the book by John King, Dave. Let's see, John King, Dave. I can't remember all the names. 3 names: Haley Fisher Wright, John, and Dave. It's an incredible book. It's all about co-creation. And it's actually It's a book that uses case studies from corporations, but you can certainly apply all of the principles that they talk about to personal interactions. And one of the things that they stress in tribal leadership is triads, and how working, playing, being in threes and multiples of threes is really powerful. So if we can get more people into our group, we will have more opportunity to form these really powerful triads that really work for co-creation. And when you're wanting to communicate something, to get people to support you, if you can do it with triads in a co-creative way online in social media, that's when you're going to really get some results. If you try to do things all by yourself, it will take years and years and years to get some results. So I think we need to think about how we can get more people involved. Okay, so last time we started the GACTS of life, and that is kind of the wrap up of everything that we've already done and how we're going to move forward with whatever it is that you are wanting to move forward with. It may be launching your book. It may be getting more people into your coaching program. It may be you've got your purpose statement, and whatever that purpose statement is, you want to get people on board to support you with that, to get it out into the world. And that becomes your presence too. So we talked about SMART goals. All of us who've been in business or corporate or, SMART goals are old school. We all know this stuff. If you don't know this stuff, it's important to read through the papers. You've got them in the library or in your email, all copies of this stuff I'm showing. So with setting the SMART goals, it all has to do with these SMART things: specific and strategic, measurable, attainable, relevant, time-framed. Those are SMART goals. It's important to set goals because if we don't have a destination, it's really hard to get there. If we don't have something to work toward, we can go all over the map. So setting goals is smart. Even if they're not SMART goals, it's smart to have a goal. And I believe that we don't have to set a ton of goals. In fact, we shouldn't, because it can be overwhelming. One goal is plenty if you are strategic about it. If it's a SMART goal and then a smarter goal. 3 goals for a quarter, I would say that's all. Don't do any more. Set 3 goals for 90 days, or if that's too much, set 1 goal. And so I gave an example, and we're going to see this later on. I'll read this just so that you have it in your head, because later on it's tiny, and I don't think you'll be able to read it then. So a not SMART goal would be, okay, I'm going to have some Boomer Zoomer meetups. I'm doing posting with purpose. I'm going to do some Boomer Zoomer meetups. That's not a SMART goal. SMART goal has to have all those SMARTs in them. So reworking that goal to a SMART goal would be the Posting with Purpose Play Shop will host Boomer Zoomer meetups on Zoom, Fridays, 1 to 2:30 p.m., 1.5 hours once a week for 3 months, 90 days. Beginning on February 19th, I'm going to block the calendar and reassess after 12 sessions. I'm going to cover the material in the playbook chapters. Play Shop members will gain clarity, focus, and direction on their why, vision, mission, who, differentiate themselves, their message and their mantra, set goals, explore tactics, potential collaborators and partners, and be ready to communicate their purpose online and in social media. I'm going to start on February 19th and end on May 21st. Whew. So that was the goal that I set in February. That was one of the goals that I had for Posting with Purpose Play Shop. I have others, but that is a SMART goal. You can see it conforms to all of the SMARTs. Specific and strategic, measurable, attainable, relevant, time-framed. You see up here, specific and strategic. It's linked to the vision and the mission. So here we go. Your why is your values. Your vision and your mission reflect those values. And now the goals reflect the vision and the mission. So everything loops back to your core values. We were talking earlier about, what's happening right now is different than what was happening 12 weeks ago. So this goal is aligned with everything that was current 12 weeks ago. I'm at the point now, because I'm saying I'm going to have this go 90 days. It'll end on May 21st. I'm redefining things. I'm looking at things. Is it still relevant? Maybe not. Smarter goals. And this is where Sarah said, oh, I like smarter goals. I do too, because I think that if we have SMART goals, we have to have SMART goals, but then let's make sure that they're really working for our why, our vision, our mission, and really focused on whatever our creative endeavor is. So for me, right now, and this goal was for the Posting with Purpose Play Shop. With you, it may be, well, with Sarah, it's Prime Spark. With Victoria, it's her business, aesthetics. So, and with Dee, it's her body of work that she's working on with her fine art photography. It's specific. With Stephanie's got an interesting one. She's got two, and we've got to figure out, okay, how can we blend those two together so that she's not all over the map and getting overwhelmed because this and that is distracting her. I have some ideas about how that can be done, but Stephanie has a healing practice where she works with clients with a specific healing modality. She also has this wonderful vision of communicating and educating and actually hands-on doing to heal the earth and incorporate indigenous knowledge with plants and planting, gardens. I mean, wow, that's two gigantic, wonderful things. I believe they can be blended so that she can do both of them, have a goal or goals for both of them, and to be, we really have to look at how are we going to survive and do what we want to do and have fun. We need to make money. I mean, unless we are blessed with having an inheritance that allows us to have fun all the time. I don't think any of us are. I'm not. I have to make money. I can't live on Social Security. So I have to think of ways to make money. Stephanie's healing practice is awesome. That's where she makes money. And so, although there's possibilities of money coming in many different ways. I mean, we funded A Place to Call Home for 6 years now on grants and sponsorships. Those are viable ways to bring money into your passion project or your purpose-filled project. There's nothing wrong with writing grants. It's not that hard. You know, I've written 4 and we've received 3. So, you know, it can be done. I'm not a genius. So I tell you, it can be done. Also sponsorships, that's another thing. We got lots of sponsorships for A Place to Call Home. We produced an amazing calendar that Dee's photographs were featured in it. And we got sponsors that sponsored that whole thing. And that was awesome. So there are ways to do it. Okay, so with the smarter goals, we have to make sure that the goal that we write or the goals that we set are significant and simple. They satisfy our vision, motivational and meaningful, aligned and action focused, relevant and resonant, timely, which means of the moment and mindful, both, ethical, enjoyable, engaging, reaching and rewarding. And those are what keep us going. The SMART goals are important to state what we're going to do in writing and be very specific about it. But this stuff is what keeps us going. It's what makes sure that it is aligned with our purpose statement, our purpose, and our passion of why we're doing what we're doing. We also have to ask, what don't we want to do? We just don't want to write a goal for something we don't want to do. Think about the obstacles and the risks. Believe me, there are obstacles to everything and there's risks to everything. Sometimes they're big risks and sometimes there's little risks. As I can tell you, as an entrepreneur for 50 years, there's a lot of risks. And in order to be an entrepreneur, you have to be willing to take risks because it's just part and parcel. You can tank real fast. You can go, I mean, you can lose everything really easy. Been there, done that. It's kind of a scary thing, but it's also an addiction. I really think that it's an addiction to have been an entrepreneur for this long. I can't be an employee. I just can't. Bob and I used to joke, we're chronically unemployable. You know, we really are. It's, and that has worked well for me too, because now I'm 70 and I don't want to stop working. I like working. I like being an entrepreneur and I like making money so that I can do the things I want to do. Okay, so GACTS of life. The GACTS of life are all of those things that were in the smarter goals and the SMART goals. So the first one was the goals, G for goals. So the second one, the A is for alignment, well, audience, alignment, and being action focused. We talked a lot about our who. It's something to keep thinking about. Who do you want to communicate with? Who do you want to hear your message, to support you in what you're doing? Who is that? Who is the audience? Because how you do that will depend on who you're doing it for. the language changes. If I'm talking to my kids who are millennials, I use different language perhaps to communicate with that group than I would to communicate with you. Language varies depending on your who. If you're writing a book and it's aimed at, well, here's an obvious one. If you're writing a YA book, youth audience book, you write in a different way using different words and different themes and different kinds of characters than if you are writing a woman's fiction book or a literary fiction. I mean, it's like your audience determines who and how you're writing for. It's the same if you've got Stephanie, with your healing practice. It's real easy to say, oh, it's for everybody. But I think that in communicating and getting people to come to you, you have to say, okay, I want to have this narrow audience because I know that they have responded in the past, they're willing to spend money, they need my services, they have been happy with my services in the past. This is my audience. Now, that doesn't mean that other people won't come. They will. But your communication that you put out into the world via online social media is geared to that niche, to that smaller audience. At least for 90 days. Try it out. If it doesn't work, you change it up. But if you try to be all over the map with your audience, you will not have the impact that you will have if you narrow it down. In alignment, of course, you have to have everything that you do in alignment with your why, your vision, your mission, and your mantra, your message, your purpose statement, and your mantra has to make sense. It has to be all in alignment. And that way you are walking your talk. Action focused. We all need to move forward, but we also want our audience to move forward. Transformation is moving forward. You know, it's like going from here to there. And all of us have action. We want action to happen. And so that means that we have to be focused on communicating action as well as taking action. Sometimes our goals are directed toward our audience. Sometimes our goals are directed toward us, ourselves, getting us to take action, getting us to do something. A good example would be if you have a bad habit. Let's say, I've never been a smoker, but let's say I was a smoker and I wanted to have a goal to quit smoking. Well, it's unrealistic. It's not a smart goal to set a goal that says, well, I'm going to quit smoking in a week. I'm not going to be addicted any longer in a week. Well, guess what? That won't work. 90 days. 90 days is the magic number for habits. And that particular goal is targeting yourself. And so framing that goal, you have to have in mind all of those SMART things and all those smarter things as it relates to you. And then sometimes we have teams. I prefer working in teams. And so goal setting for the team may look a little bit different than goal setting for me individually or for an audience oriented goal. We have to look at what has happened before. Like I was saying for Stephanie, what clients were your best clients before? because those will be your best clients in the future, probably, at least for the first 90 days. Yes.
Let's
So-
go. Thank you.
Okay, well,
I will see you whenever our next meeting is.
yeah, and the recording will be up, so
Good. Thank you. Bye-bye,
2
everybody.
weeks, actually,
Sarah.
2 weeks. So, okay, bye-bye. So, let's see, where was I? Oh, looking at the relevant data and information, look back at what's worked before, look back at what hasn't worked before, and be very smart about how you move forward. Align your goal with your purpose, reflecting your why, your vision, your mission. Can you break your goal down into actionable steps? If you're going to try to just quit smoking, it probably isn't, it'll probably need to be some baby steps. Stephanie, did you have a question?
Yeah, when my practice was just in full bloom, I was actually working, I had my practice with a chiropractor, not working for him, but we worked together. And so he would send a lot of his clients to me, and then I was in lots of groups and I'd send clients to him, and he died.
Yeah.
So it just threw my life into a whole tizzy, and not really ever knowing how to go back, and even, and his record keeping was totally just trashed. We couldn't find anything. So, and one of my mistakes was allowing him to keep information on my clients. So I didn't have that, because it literally all got dumped.
Right.
And
So now probably
I have to do something very different. And
maybe.
yeah,
I mean, you could, or you could, there are lots of chiropractors out there.
right.
And there are a lot of, chiropractors are struggling at the moment with the same challenges your business is struggling with, not being able to have clients come in, or the same challenges Victoria's business has struggled with. Not being able to. I mean, it's just like, so I think that the atmosphere out in the world is opened up a lot of possibilities, because everybody's in the same boat, and everybody's trying to figure out how to get the boat to move forward. And the opportunities for partnering, for alliances, for mutual support, for collaboration in many different ways, I think is really important now, to think that, okay, this worked before, could it work now? And maybe even be framed a little bit differently now, because now is different than it was a few years ago.
Yeah.
But the opportunity is definitely there. And that's where co-creation, I mean, that's all about co-creation. And I will tell you, if you could find 3 collaborators, you, a chiropractor, and another, maybe Kim, another person who is not your competition. Remember, you're embracing them, and the 3 of you figure out a way to lift up everybody's business, and setting a goal together would be a team-oriented goal where that could happen, and you break it down into actionable baby steps. And that's the key, is to break it down and to figure out what baby steps can I take in 90 days that are going to move us forward, and in that case, as a team. So I'm going to move on so I can get to all this. But if anybody else has a question or a comment, do just wave like that, and I can see and stop. Here we go. Who can support me to get each step done? So that's where the collaboration comes in. That's where the co-creation comes in, the connection. connecting with supporters. It's so much easier to get things done if there's a team working on it instead of us. Sisyphus had a really hard time pushing that rock up the hill. Remember that?
Yep.
Greek myth, pushing that big rock up the hill, it kept rolling back down on top of him. Well, if he'd had a team of co-creators helping him push that rock up the hill, it would have been a whole lot easier. Does each action align with my mantra? Now, I have a mantra. I don't know how far you guys have come on your mantras. A mantra is really important, and I will get to a place where I can show you how that works. But your mantra is your purpose statement boiled down to just a few words so that you can say it, so that it has meaning, and so that people will remember it. And it, again, connects with your why, your vision, and your mission. The other C is channel, or that was A's. So that's the A's. We just went over audience alignment, action focused. C, GACTS of life, GACTS. The C is for channels, communicate, and co-create. So we've talked about co-create a little bit. Channels is all about what we're all about, which is having a presence online, in social media, and communicating your mantra, your purpose statement, getting people to your audience, your who, to support you in whatever it is that you're doing. And so if we tried to use all the channels that are available to us, we'd go crazy and it wouldn't be fun. It'd be overwhelming. And I think that sometimes we get overwhelmed too easily by looking at too many things. It's like too many choices. Bob and I went into a candy store. Now I'm not a sugar person. I don't like sweets, but Bob has a sweet tooth. So there was this candy store in, I think it was in Jackson. It was this last weekend when we were around. It was overkill. There was every kind of candy known to man or woman. I mean, it was like a huge candy store. And I thought, ew, there's too many choices. Even if I liked candy, how can I pick anything? There's too much. So we need to do that with our communication for our creative endeavor, for our social media presence. We need to narrow it down. And I would say my philosophy is you begin with what you can own, and that is your website. Your website acts as a hub. And so I think that that makes the most sense to start with your own website. Now, other people think other ways and do other things. And that's okay, and we can work with that. But I wanted to talk a little bit about what websites can be and why I think they act as a hub. They don't have to be gigantic websites. I personally run my whole business off of this website. It has parts that you don't even see, you can't see. It has business management parts to it that I use a lot. I have done a lot with this website in the last 10 years. I've run many programs. I've done lots of different things. It's a beefy, gigantic website. You don't need that. You aren't doing what I'm doing, and you don't need anything as big as the co-creation community website. But I would invite you, if you have time sometime, remember you're going to spend a couple hours a week online looking at stuff. If you want to look at my website, thecocreationcommunity.com, you can go through it and you can see what's visible to the public. There's a lot of stuff there. And that's works for me because I do use it as my hub. But I also have this website, and this was my good idea, I thought, a while back. And I built this website, and I'm actually going to be offering this kind of a website to my clients. This is one page. It's just one page. And it has on this page everything that you would need.
Say, okay, boomer.
So what I did
Oh, my.
for this one was, I call it my digital business card. It's my digital business card. I have my name. I have what I am. Now this I may change up because right now I'm doing posting with purpose and not writing as much as I should. But I was encouraged by a writing coach who talked about setting up an author page to describe yourself in just a few words. Well, a few words didn't work for me, so I did it in a lot of words, but I described myself as a boomer hippie artist, co-creation outlier, Silicon Valley escapee, story catcher, channeling Guy Kawasaki and Terry Gross for decades. So that describes who I am and what I've done for the last 30, 40 years. It makes no sense to some people, but it makes a lot of sense to others. People who know who Guy and Terry Gross are know that I did radio as well, and that I patterned my radio off of Terry Gross and Guy Kawasaki. You guys know that he's my big time mentor. I'm glad I'm a boomer hippie artist. I'm embracing my hippiness and my artiness. Co-creation outlier, if you ever read Malcolm Gladwell, he talked in, what was the name of the book? Can't remember the name now, but in one of his first books, he talked about outliers and what outliers are. And outliers are people who are masters at something, that they have done whatever they have done 10,000 times. And when you do something 10,000 times, you become a master. Well, I'm a master at co-creation. That's what I do. That's what I've done. So this was relevant to me. Then I have on this contact. This is how you get a hold of me. It has my phone number. It has my email. It has where I live. And you see, I didn't put my, I didn't put at gmail.com because this is a hot link. All you do is click on that and it'll send me an email. Same with this. You can phone off of this. So if you happen to be on your phone and look at my digital business card and want to give me a call, all you have to do is click that. It goes right to a phone call.
Hot link.
Wow.
Nevada City, I didn't want to put my actual address on there, so I just put where I live. All of these are hot linked to my social media presence. All someone would have to do is click it and they would go to that place. I explain what this is. This is my digital business card. Now, I wrote this in language that I felt represented my persona, my attitude. You know, people always say, wow, you do so much. Well, I figure it's all connected. I'm never bored. I'm always having fun. My glass is always more than half full. That's what it's important. And then I put this in there because I don't know if you were aware of it, but about a year ago, there was something going around in social media that this okay boomer. Boomers say okay. Okay, you know, that was our jargon. Well, millennials say K. And so they came up with this, it was mean. They were hammering boomers for being boomers, saying, okay.
I
So
gotta say something now, Susan.
yeah.
Susan, my daughter, the composer, is doing music for a new show, a sitcom called Okay Boomer on HBO. So
Well,
if anybody wants to watch the show, it's apparently pretty hilarious.
yeah, I bet. Well, see, that's it. You know, that's what this is all about. So,
So I have a question about that.
uh-huh,
Since I'm not a boomer, we used okay all the time as well in the
That's
50s
right.
and the 40s. So is our boomers somehow using it differently?
well, this last piece was just in response to the nastiness that the millennials and younger were saying. You know, they were trying to dig at boomers or at older people. And, you know, it was like, because we said okay, they say K.
Okay.
It's so
And
stupid.
my 52-year-old son says K instead of okay, and I
Okay.
don't know what generation he is.
Gen X,
So,
my Gen X kids too. Gen X's are about 50,
They are okay.
50,
Gen X.
55.
All right.
Yeah.
I have two of those.
Yeah.
Not my
Oh, here you
younger.
go. Or
so moving on, in this one-page business card or one-page digital biz card, I also have a short bio. I tell what I do. And then for me, this was the most important part.
Mhm.
It has links to all my websites. So
oof.
if somebody, you know, isn't interested in any of the, you know, in this one, they don't need to click there.
Right.
How I came up with this is a kind of an interesting story. This is, you know, it goes on. And then here's the most important part is an opt-in. This is how you create a list. And it's important on author sites and one-page landing page sites, like to have an opt-in. And there's a right way to do this opt-in, which I've done. And so that's part of this digital business card. But the way that I came up with this, or the reason I came up with this, is that I was in a writing group that focused on publishing with not self-publishing, but publishing with traditional publishers. And they had an agent on who was an agent for one of the big five. And he was talking about what he likes to see in a query letter, and what he doesn't like to see, and what's important to him as an agent. And you can extrapolate that goes on to a publisher. He said he doesn't want to see a whole bunch of stuff. He definitely does not want to see links to books on Amazon, because a traditional publisher does not want to have authors who have self-published, unless they've self-published and are selling 5,000 copies a month for 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So he said, don't put that on there. I don't want to see it. Take it off. He says, I don't want to have to Google your name and figure out who you are and if you have a platform. And so I thought, oh, Google my name, Googling my name is not good. I have a very common name, which is why I had to choose this URL, SusanMDavis-author.com, because everything else was taken. Susan M. Davis, Susan M. Davis author, Susan M. Davis writer, Susan M. Davis artist. I have, they're gone. So I thought, okay, he doesn't want to know if I write a query letter, he's not going to care about, he's not going to care about the fact that I have built a house in Costa Rica. He doesn't care about that. So if he came to this site, all he would do would be click on whatever he was interested in, and then it would take him to my other website. So that's why I did this short version. The facilitator of that group also had an archived video that I watched about creating an author site. And I learned a whole lot about creating an author site from that. And one of the things that she stressed is that you only need a landing page, and with a opt-in, to create your list. You've got to have a list. You've got to have people who are interested in your book, interested in you as a writer. And this is for both self-publishing and for publishing with a traditional publisher. The numbers are different, but you've got to have a big list of engaged people to get the interest. Yes, Stephanie.
So why would you go for a standard publisher rather than, because it sounds like you're very limited. You can't do Amazon, you can't do this, rather than doing like a self-publishing. And yes, I don't know if this is a good time for the question, but
I can talk more about that later.
Okay.
Just briefly, I would say, me personally, I looked into both. I haven't decided what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to do a hybrid, but the bottom line for me was it takes so much time and effort and, to write a book, to be a good writer, it costs money to have it edited. It costs money to put it on Amazon. It costs money to do all this stuff. If I'm going to spend my time and my energy in writing a book, me personally, I want it to sell. I don't want it to sit on Amazon and not sell. Therefore, I've looked over the last 2 years into it very deeply. Okay, what are the options and what do you have to do to make something sell so it doesn't sit there? And it's an investment of money and it's an investment of time. With a traditional publisher, they pay you up front. And they pay, if it's something that's good enough to get an agent, you have to have an agent. And if it's good enough to get an agent, your agent acts as your business manager. And the book deals that you can get from a traditional publisher are a minimum of about $50,000 plus royalties. And it can go up to hundreds of thousands, which sounds pretty attractive, except it's a heck of a lot of work to write to that caliber, because you've got to be doing everything right. You have to write right. So, so I don't know. I don't know where I'm going to go with it, but it did inspire me to do this one-page website. And this is, I think, can be used as a one-page website, can be used as an author site. It can be used as a digital business card. It can be used as a landing page with an opt-in to build a list, no matter what you're doing. It's a good kind of basic, inexpensive way to go. And then another example of another kind of website I have up here is this one, which I love. Can you see it, or are your pictures over it? Well, there's a little logo up here at the top too.
I see shadow dance photography. Is that what?
Yes. And so this is a portfolio website.
Looks like my
It is your website. So this is a portfolio website, different than a one-page digital business card, different than my big honkin' co-creation community. This is a website that is a portfolio. It has information about all the different portfolio pieces. It has information about Dee. So it has about our Dee here.
Hi, Dee.
A bio, a bio, some testimonials, which I think are really important on websites.
Some of that stuff. Yeah, we're supposed to change some, just reminded me.
Yep. Well, that's the thing with websites. They are organic and they change. They should change. And that was something too that the agent said. He says, I don't want to look at people's social media and see that it hasn't changed in the last, year. And I don't want to see that they're authors and they're blogging and they haven't done a blog post in a year. So that caused me to take down my blog on one of my websites. I thought, well, geez, I haven't written anything for a long time. I'm just going to take it off. So in Dee's case, there are things that changed, and they should be. There are things in this website that she may not even want anymore, like book a session. I don't think she uses that. But when we built a website, it was a possibility, so we built it in. But
so this is a one-page website. It's that you were talking about, like yours, Susan.
The one page?
Is Dee's what you're showing us?
No, Dee's is multi-page. Dee's is what I call a portfolio website.
Okay.
So she's showing, mainly this website is set up to show her work.
Okay.
And I don't know why this is not clicking on anything. Great. Oh, I must have hit something up here. Okay.
I don't know. I'm surrendered. I can't touch anything. Make it work.
No, I'm the only one that's doing this. You guys aren't. Okay. So it has on this is mainly for her her portfolio, and to show anybody who she's communicating with what she's doing. And I would say one thing we probably should add to this is why you're doing it. More, you've been working on that, your purpose statement, all of that can go into a part of it, not in your bio, but maybe on like this is the collection that she's focusing on now. So this is a portfolio website. Now this one, which is another one of my favorite websites. This
Facial
one
treatment, aesthetics, yes.
is Victoria's website. Now her purpose for her website is totally different than a portfolio website. So it has on it a shop, because she's transitioning and including selling products online. It also has a lovely about. It has, I'll show you the gallery. That's our favorite part, huh? I think I love the gallery. But it has a shop on it so that her
Let's
client,
hear it for the products. We love these products. Yay.
yes. And so down here, you can actually buy the products online. And throughout the website, there is places where you can learn about the products. You can learn about Victoria and her daughter, Allie, and get familiar with, if you don't know her, if you aren't local, this, I think this website really shows who Victoria is, her philosophy, the fact that she's been using these products and why she uses these products for a number of years. And then this part, to me, is the clincher. I love this part. And I'm sorry, my screen, I'm so slow today. Internet is slow. So we created a gallery, the Goddess Gallery. And, oh, the other thing is, I will turn that on. It has,
Oh, you have a sound?
yes, can you hear it?
No.
It's very subtle. You can't hear it.
Yeah. The bowls.
The bowls, she plays the crystal bowls. So, and this is actually Victoria playing the crystal bowls. I recorded her and I put it up. So when you click on these images of the women that have had the treatments with Victoria, she has a testimonial from each of those women. And the testimonials are incredible. I mean, I couldn't believe it. And there's over 40, I think, of the women on these. Let's see, where am I here? Get out of this. Here we go. So all of these women wrote something to Victoria to put on this website about what it meant to them to have these treatments. And oh my gosh, it's just beautiful. You read those, and I would think that anybody coming to the website and reading these would say, oh, I gotta go. This is for me. So let me see if I can get us out of here now and move on. Okay. Well, I will move on, although I have to turn this off, or will this? Come on.
Wow.
It's not wanting to turn off. No, I may just have to shut the whole thing down.
There you go.
This
Okay, it's
last,
off now.
this one, yeah, this is the last one. This is not one that I built, but I thought it was a really nice website. This is an author site. What?
That's funny.
What?
Water of fitted.
Oh yeah. So
That's
this is a really good example of choosing I mean, this could be a mantra, but on a one-page website, digital website, or in her case, this author site, she's describing herself. Her personality comes out in her choice of words. And writer, wanderer, water of fitted sheets. That's great, because this, I don't know, it's so, it's such a play on words. Whoops, what happened? Where'd it go? Oh, I didn't want to go back. Come on.
So where did you find this, Susan?
I just Googled author sites, You know, I do this a lot. I do a lot of research about websites and what's good and what's bad. And, you know, there's a lot of information online, and then I analyze it myself. So I really liked this one. It was highlighted in an article as being a great author site. And so I went and looked at what makes it great. What makes it great is, first of all, the play on words here is just phenomenal. It shows her personality. It's very simple. She has a little bit about her, not a long bio, just a little blurb. She has a great photograph. Her photograph makes you want to know her. I mean, she just seems like such a fun person. Then she has her books, and you can see she's an inspirational sort of children's writer. These are just images. This is the book cover. It's just an image. This is a page from the book. So it's not a link here to any great content, you know, any big hunk of anything. It's just pretty much visual, but it also gives you a really good idea of the kinds of books that she writes. She has a little philosophical thing about her writing. And then she has her blog. And this blog posts the, now, if you look at this, and here's where I would say, turn off the dates. You don't have to show the dates. If that agent that I was listening to had seen this website and he had seen that her blogs were going back years, he would not like that. There is a blog page, but I think that the way that most websites work is they put the most recent up on the front page. So she does have a blog going, which for writers often is a really important thing. Writers write. So having an author site that has a blog on it is a good idea. She does have some other things on here. Let me see if I can move this over. She's got more pages, but she could get by with that one page easily. Buy her books online. So she's probably self-published. Let's see where it takes us. Buy them online. Maybe, maybe not. You know, she may be just selling off of her website too, because she says, contact me now. It doesn't take you to Amazon. And it, not a bad thing. If you're self-published and you have a website and you want people to buy your books, having a link on your website to your Amazon author page or to your book is a good idea. So anyway, this was another kind of a website, which, and there are others, but I think for creatives, that those are the ones that work. And to have your own website to use as your hub, and then go out from there with these other tactics or these other channels makes sense. Like I said, blogs are a good thing for people who love to write. If you don't like to write, though, I don't think a blog is a good idea because it forces you to have to write. If you like journaling, if you are a journaler, I would say have a blog because you can take a piece of your journal and put it up as a blog. And a blog is a really good place because it's right on your website to use to start putting out on social media, which is the next one. Social media is a gigantic channel. It's a gigantic category because it's so many different platforms. It is social media is Facebook, And Facebook itself has so many different ways of communicating, either profile, groups, page, Facebook Live. Now they're going to be launching next month another Facebook channel called, I don't know what they're going to call it, but it's audio. So it's like Clubhouse, except Facebook is doing Clubhouse. So Facebook is huge, and that's only one platform. Then you've got Instagram, you've got Pinterest, you've got LinkedIn, you've got TikTok, you've got Clubhouse, you know, on and on and on. There's so many social media platforms. What we want to do is narrow it down to one to start with, and we're going to start with Facebook. So having your own website and Facebook makes a ton of sense. But let's say you love speaking. I love speaking. I want to get back into doing more speaking engagements. That's a great channel to get your communicate what you're doing and get people to respond. Articles, writing articles, writers, especially nonfiction writers, can write articles for Huffington Post, for Medium, for all kinds of different publications. A channel is participating in groups, and this would be groups online or offline, being a member of a networking group or an interest group of some sort. And participating helps build your presence, especially when you're communicating your mantra, your purpose, and your values, your mission and vision. Workshops and courses, email and newsletters. I have a lady I was really hoping she would come today, but she's a busy lady. She's going to be one of our presenters about email, because email is a great social media platform for us to communicate with our audience, as long as we do it correctly and not icky. None of this do we want to do icky. Videos, another guest that we'll be having is someone who specializes in communication through video. That's a great way to communicate your messages and accomplish your goals. Print collateral, you know, brochures and business cards are appropriate in certain places. So if you like having those kinds of collateral and you want to use them going forward, I mean, Victoria has a brick and mortar business, and so having brick and mortar collateral makes sense. I think that things in the mail, in the snail mail, are going to be a really good place to put some energy right now, because we kind of come full circle. We've now, most of what we get in the mail is crap. It's bills and you know, solicitations and bills. But when we get a birthday card or a thank you card in the mail, or a postcard from somebody's European trip, or a gift boxes are huge right now. That's an incredibly good way to communicate to your audience, is through gift boxes. And people will pay good money for subscription to gift boxes. That's something somebody like Victoria might consider, because you have products that people use on a regular basis and they like to try new stuff too. So if you had a gift box program where they bought a year's subscription, and every month they got shipped the same, the same products that they use monthly, but they also get shipped something new so that it was a surprise. And you could probably sell those gift boxes for more than the value of the individual items. Because what it is, it's also convenience, and it has that element of surprise. And then you could package it up beautifully like you do, and it would be just an awesome thing that people would love to have and to give to other people. So these are, and then networking, of course, these are all channels that we can consider. I would really advise you to look at what you already do and love to do, and maybe add one other new thing. Because if you add too much, it's too much. And here's how I suggest doing this. So I just took that goal that I read to you, my SMART goal, and I put it up here. I gave you all this form, and you can use the form or you can use paper or type it out or whatever. You choose 90 days, because 90 days is what it takes to create a habit. And it's also a quarter in business. And it's a really good amount of time to try something, to set a goal, to try it out, to see if it works, and be consistent about accomplishing it. So I chose that 90-day period starting 2/19, ending mid-May. The message that I chose 2 channels, Facebook and email, and I chose one of the messages that I have created. I actually use this one already. Now I do, I do multiple messages, but you guys could just do one to start with anyway. So this is a message that I posted, and I tweaked it for the different channels and where on Facebook I posted it. But basically it said, today is the day for our Boomer Zoomer meetup, and it's free. Join some awesome chronically gifted women creatives as we unbamboozle our brains and go from tired to inspired with our online and social media presence. Register to get the Zoom link by clicking through the image. Co-create, communicate, ignite change with the co-creation community. So here's my mantra: co-create, communicate, ignite change. Here's my who: chronically gifted women creatives. The language I'm using is fun. It's branded to posting with purpose. Here's the transformation: tired to inspired. Here's what we're doing: the presence online and in social media. And here's a call to action: register to get the Zoom link by clicking through the image. And then down here, there was an image. So that was a message. In Facebook, I posted on my own profile Monday and Thursday. I post on the co-creation community page on Facebook on Monday. I boost the post. That means I put money on it, like advertising. I post in our group on Facebook on Monday and Thursday. I post in Thriving Women in Business group on Wednesdays. I also post there Friday. So this is my steps. This is how I take action. I said, okay, I'm going to do it these days. I'm going to be consistent about it. Email, same kind of messaging. I use the same kind of words. I may change them a little bit. I send it to you guys on Sunday evening, along with the new chapter. I send it to my list on Tuesday. I send a reminder to the members and the list on Thursday, and I send a reminder link on Friday when I remembered. Today I didn't remember. Well, I did it this morning. But
What worked? What didn't?
this is what gives me the steps to do. Then at the end of the 90 days, I look at what worked, what didn't work, what will I keep, what will I get rid of. So that's what I would like you guys to be doing when you set your goals. And think of it in terms of what kind of message do you want to get out there? And in what channel are you going to do it? I would suggest that you start with Facebook, because that's where we're going to start. And I think I think everybody is set up with a Facebook profile. Everybody can get on our Facebook group. So if you could create a goal that is a smart and smarter goal, and just do one. And then think about setting up a page or a way to accomplish that goal through social media or online. Those of you who have websites have pretty much the websites that I built, you have your values, your vision, and your mission pretty much on there. And your messaging is pretty much there. All you have to really do is pick it off of it. And those of you who have websites that I built, if you want to change something on that website, you say, well, I don't see anything here that I would want to use for my messaging. Can we put this on it instead? And Dee, I'm thinking of you in particular because you have worked on a mantra. You've worked on specifically for one portfolio. And so we should get that messaging on the website, because from the website, it can go onto your Facebook posts, which will link back to your website. And again, we don't want to if you own your website, I think of your website as your home, you own it. And so everything can come back to where you own. You lease space for free. You lease it on Facebook. So you should utilize that space for sure, but everything should lead back to what you own, which is your website. And Stephanie, with all this work that you've done in the last 12 weeks, you're poised to launch a website, because there's all the stuff that goes into the website is what we've been going over.
Right. And I have a question. I have a personal Facebook page, but we're not talking about that, right?
Not yet.
And I tried to set up a business Facebook page, and they ended up getting linked together. And it was
They will always be linked together. And that's something that starting in May we'll be doing, is you have to start with your personal Facebook page. And
and I don't understand that. And it ended up being a disastrous mess.
Yes, and so I will show you how to do it correctly. And I will also be going through, and there is a video on the membership site already about setting up your privacy settings on your personal Facebook profile.
Okay.
We will do that
I
together.
gotta go, guys.
I need to go as well.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for staying that extra 5 minutes. I did want to tell you that I did create a special thing, and I will send you more money. I'll send you
More money.
I'll send you more information about that. It's called Funny Money.
Okay.
And so you guys all can use Funny Money to spend on your new website, your digital business card, your landing page, your one-page author site, your, for anything that we do in the co-creation community, you have $100 to spend, funny money for you. So,
That is she.
Thank you very
okay.
much.
Thanks,
Well,
Susan. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
it's great.
Okay, see
Very
you
helpful.
guys.
Thanks.
Oh, it won't be next week.
No,
And it won't be the following week either. It'll be, we're gonna take a break of 2 weeks, but I'll be letting you know all the goodies.
Do you have like a second and fourth or first and third?
Well, the reason that we're taking next week off is that I'm on the summit and you guys are all invited to the Gather event. I gave you the link for that. And then the following week, I have something else planned myself. So we will pick it up again after that. I don't know what that date is. My calendar's not in front of me, but I haven't decided yet what exact dates going on. It will be twice a month.
Okay.
Or it'll be the first and third or the fourth, second and fourth. I don't know. I haven't even decided if we'll keep it on Friday. Fridays are
No.
kind of hard because I end up having to work on the weekend and I don't want to work on the weekend, but I don't know.
Make it a day I can do it.
If you've got preferences, let me know, because you guys are my main squeeze. If
I'll let you know. I could do Monday or Thursday besides Friday, but I can't do Tuesday and Wednesday.
okay, well, I probably will just keep it on Friday just because we're in a groove.
All right.
Okay,
Thank
great.
you.
Thank
Bye,
you.
guys. Thank you.
Bye, JR. Thanks
Bye-bye.
for dropping in.
Yep, yeah, I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Good. Great.
Can't find my way out.
I know. Me neither.